This is the DJI Mini 3, and today I'm going to be telling you guys why it's been my go-to drone for filming for the last 6 months. Now all I gotta say is that the last 6 months with this drone has been absolutely fantastic. Like many of you, 6 months ago I was also looking for my first drone, something that could shoot in 4K, something that took great photos, and that was also small and compact so that I can fit it into my bag and go wherever with it. What I ended up choosing is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys why I'm very happy with my decision. I'm also going to be going over some things that you might want to know about the drone before you buy one for yourself. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to go ahead, hit that like button, leave a nice comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, and if you can press a couple of buttons to help me out with that, that would be great. Now, an absolute must for me is portability. Now, as somebody who makes content on e-bikes, I'm constantly on the go with very little storage space. So, I need something that's compact so that I can bring it with me wherever I need to go. Thankfully, this drone and all of its components will fit into this little bag, which in total weighs less than 4 pounds. And I know, it's something that's brought up in every single review. I mean, that's the reason anybody would get a mini drone for the portability. But if you're anything like me, you like to go on hikes, you like to ride your bike, and you want to bring your drone with you, this is a perfect option for you. Especially when you consider all of the crazy features that they have packed into this thing, such as the 4K camera, which can shoot up to 48 megapixel photos. Now look, I'm no photographer, but typically when I point this drone at something and take a photo, it tends to come out incredibly clear and crisp. It's almost as if I have some sort of hidden talent for photography, when in reality, the drone did all the work. And that's almost one of the problems with this drone. Because it's so user-friendly, I almost don't feel any sort of sense of accomplishment after I get a good shot. It's almost like this is just some sort of filming cheat code. I put it up into the sky, I get a beautiful shot, I download it to my computer, and then I don't really feel like I did anything. And when I say user-friendly, I mean it. There's about a dozen pre-programmed flight paths which allow the drone to fly automatically for you. Which basically means even if you have absolutely zero filming experience, you can still capture some great shots with this drone. Okay, so I know I'm kind of contradicting what I said just about a minute ago. This drone being user-friendly really is not a problem for me. Actually, that's why I got this drone in the first place. I was sick and tired of having to get off my bike, set up a camera, and then get back on my bike. I needed a solution. This drone absolutely is the solution to that. I can fly this drone up in the air, leave it in the air for like 35 minutes, and just have it follow me. It can track me and follow me wherever, and I can get any shot that I wish. Like I said, guys, filming cheat code. This makes my life so much more convenient. And while we're on the topic of convenience, can we talk about this screen integrated controller? I mean, seriously, I could not imagine using my phone for this thing. You need your phone, and I absolutely would not be able to use my phone, listen to music, reply to text if my phone was integrated into the controller. That's why this is an absolute lifesaver, and I think they did such a great job with this controller. It's so simple and easy to use. I have absolutely zero complaints about it. Now, with it being a $1,000 drone and all, a major concern of mine before I bought it was its durability. With me piloting it, I figured that crashing would be inevitable. And boy was I right. I've actually crashed this thing about 5 times, one of them being at the Santa Barbara mission where it fell about 5 feet down onto concrete, and it ended up being perfectly fine. I think because the drone is so light, with it being 249 grams and all, that when it does fall down to the ground, especially at lower altitudes, damage tends to be very minimal. Now that's not to say it's not going to break if you drop it, right? If you drop it from certain altitudes on the right thing, it will break. But fortunately, there are pretty good warranties for this thing that you can get for about $70 to $100, which will allow you to replace the drone if it does break. Now look, if this thing had a flight range of half a mile, I really wouldn't mind. I typically don't need to fly the drone very far to get any of the shots that I need for my videos, but for the sake of this video, I might as well let you guys know that the range isn't quite as advertised. They advertise that you're going to be able to go about 10 kilometers or about 6.42 miles. In reality, you might be able to go about 2 or 3 miles if you have a clear line of sight, Like I just mentioned, I really have no need to fly the drone further than like 2,000 feet to get any of the shots that I really need. Now you may or may not have caught on, but this is not your typical drone review. I'm not going to be going over any of the specifications of this drone because I feel like anybody who's watching this video has seen other reviews of this drone. They've heard all about the specifications, the camera settings, over and over again, and they really don't need to hear it again. This is just the personal opinion of a fairly average filmmaker. And now there's a couple things about this drone which I wish I knew before I got it, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys right now. So one of the things that originally sold me on this drone was the active track feature. I can imagine myself tracking my bike with this drone, using the audio from my GoPro, and then just getting the coolest hand-free shots using the active track feature. And believe me, it does work very well. I use it all the time. But it does have some limitations which I think you guys should know about. For starters, once I start to go past about 25 miles per hour, it tends to lose track of me. I remember I wanted to capture myself doing a wheelie from behind, and I really just couldn't get the drone to stay attached to me. It kept losing track, and then when it loses track, the drone just sits in place and doesn't do anything. This was a little disappointing because I can imagine myself getting some hands-free wheelie footage with this drone, but I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world. Another limitation is because this drone does not have side sensors. If you want to get some parallel tracking footage using the active track feature, you have to be really careful about where you're using it, because if there's a tree in the way or maybe a cliff, it absolutely will not stop and it will end up crashing. As you saw in that one clip where I crashed the drone, I actually was using the active track feature, and it started to go sideways into a tree, and it ended up crashing because it didn't know that the tree was there. If it was going maybe backwards into the tree, it would have known that it was there and would have stopped. But yeah, no sideways sensors. So if you're using the active track feature, you have to be very cautious. I'm still a big fan of the feature, and I'm hoping that in the future with these drones, they can continue to improve it, especially with this mini lineup. Now it does work really well for tracking still subjects. As you can see in one of the first shots that I showed in this video, it was actually tracking this super yacht which was down at the Santa Barbara Harbor. It was lit up much brighter than everything else, so it really just locked right onto it, and I was able to hover around it for about 3 minutes straight. It didn't get off course or anything, and I think I got one of my favorite shots that I've ever gotten with this drone just using this active track feature. So yeah, it is definitely a really great feature, although it does have some limitations which I thought you guys should know about. Now one more thing that you should know about this drone and other drones similar to it is that they will not fly in restricted locations. Now how might this affect you? Well, if you live in a city, chances are there are a lot of restricted zones in your area. I found this out the hard way. You know, I kind of had this fantasy about owning a drone, you know, where I could sit on my roof, fly it from my house over to my friend's house and bug them with it. And you know, that was on my drone bucket list. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that because my entire area is just one giant restricted zone because I live within a couple miles of an airport. I actually have to walk about half a mile that way if I even want to use this drone. Thankfully, a lot of the main places where I want to fly this thing aren't in restricted areas, but I definitely was disappointed the first time I tried to fly this when I found out that pretty much half of my local area is restricted. So I think it's just something you should keep in mind. Maybe something you should do a little bit of research on before you get your own DJI drone. Anyways, I think that's it for my little mini review. Again, this is really just a review going over my personal opinion on this drone, how I like it, what I've experienced with it in the last 6 months. Overall, I think this is a great drone. I totally recommend it to anybody who maybe has a YouTube channel, is looking to unlock new angles and new shots for their videos. If you're just a person who wants a drone to get some casual shots, maybe you want to look into getting the DJI Mini 2. It's a couple $100 cheaper, and in my opinion, from the videos that I've seen, the camera quality really doesn't look any different. But if you want those extra features, this thing is definitely pretty top notch for what it is. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to go ahead, hit that thumbs up, leave a nice comment down below, most importantly subscribe, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Later. And now for some filler footage, because there's no way in hell I'm letting this video be less than 10 minutes.